First at 4, criminal justice reform in Michigan. Governor Whitmer just signed a bill into law. So what does it mean and the impact it might have on many people convicted of certain crimes? Also, Supreme Court showdown like we've never seen in modern history. Why Democrats argue this hearing should not be happening at all. And here's Ben.
Karen, we've got a line of thunderstorms crossing the lake. They're going to be here tonight. We'll tell you how strong they're going to be and the big cool down that lies in wait. All of that coming up right now. First at 4.
Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon. I'm Karen Drew. First at 4. Governor Gretchen Whitmer has signed a set of bills dealing with criminal justice reform. The Clean Slate package will make thousands of Michiganders eligible to have their records expunged for lower-level crimes. Now, that includes for traffic offenses and marijuana crimes that would have been legal after recreational use was approved in December of 2018. Now, the bill creates an automatic process for setting aside eligible misdemeanors after 7 years and eligible felonies after 10 years.
For those who have been convicted of a crime and paid their debt to society, there is no greater barrier to success than having a criminal record that follows you around for the rest of your life. It is a barrier to education, a barrier to employment, and a barrier to supporting those you love and those who love you. And I've always believed that once your debt to society has been paid, the world we live in should properly reflect that.
A recent study by the University of Michigan Law School found people who receive expungements see a 23% increase in income within a year. Well, every day about this time, we bring you the new numbers in COVID cases here in Michigan. Today, Governor Whitmer is telling Local 4 she is concerned about what she's seen. In the past 2 days, the state has recorded more than 1,800 new cases. We've also seen another 7 deaths. That means nearly 6,900 people have died since the pandemic moved into our state. Today, Michigan Supreme Court ruled Governor Whitmer's emergency orders are no longer in effect, rejecting her request for a transition period. But the health department used its authority to replace most of those regulations last week. The governor says none of that matters to the virus.
Our COVID numbers are rising. It's very concerning. We are not out of the woods when it comes to COVID-19. The virus does not care about a Supreme Court decision. The virus does not care about your political affiliation. This virus is still a very real threat all across the state of Michigan, and if we drop our guard, we are going to see community spread.
New at 5, we're going to dig deeper into which coronavirus numbers are the most concerning and why Michigan's contact tracing isn't helping as much as it could. Join us for that perspective. Meantime, a hearing is underway to determine if a Dearborn man will stand trial for the murder of his elderly neighbor. 40-year-old Chantry Rice is charged with the murder of 92-year-old Maxine Callahan in her home. She died from blunt force trauma back in August. Police say they found jewelry from the victim at Rice's home. Rice is a former border agent and a father of 4. Before his arrest, he had no criminal record. We'll keep you posted on the judge's decision. I-94 is back open after state police investigate another freeway shooting in Metro Detroit. This happened overnight in the westbound lanes on 94 where it meets I-75. The victim says they passed a gold or a tan car, and that's when someone fired several shots into their van. Luckily, the victim was not hurt and drove to a police station. Police, meantime, closed the freeway for several hours to collect evidence. Definitely breezy outside, but we can see that the trees are swaying, obviously, in our downtown studios. Ben is here with a look at the storms that could be blowing into town. Hey, Ben.
Hey, Karen. Yeah, you're right. The winds will probably be the first noticeable thing that we're going to see as we get into the evening, but that line right now is still further out to the west. Now, currently, there is a severe thunderstorm warning that looks like it just may still in effect there on the southern end of Lake Michigan, I should say. So we'll have to watch that as it continues to advance across the state. I don't think that the storms will be severe when they get here, but you can see some of those wind gusts, 30 miles per hour in Grand Rapids, 31 in Ludington. Could see a 30 to 40 mile per hour gust as that line gets here tonight. So the bottom line is this: timing 8 p.m. in the west zone. By midnight, these should be out of pretty much everywhere except the far east side. It's going to affect everybody from west to east tonight, and heavy rain is probably going to be the biggest threat. Maybe some lightning strikes in there, obviously, as well. But again, these should be below severe limits. Coming up, the second half of the big weather story is going to be the cool down later this week, and we'll look at that in a few minutes. Karen?
Good. Breaking news from Capitol Hill. The United States Senate has opened confirmation hearings for Amy Coney Barrett, President Trump's choice to replace the late Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Right off the bat, Democrats are arguing that these hearings shouldn't be happening at all. Kimberly Gill joins us now. And Kim, we also just heard from the nominee herself.
That we did. Good afternoon to you, Karen. The first day of these confirmation hearings kicked off about 9 this morning. Senators gave their opening statements for hours, and this afternoon, as you said, the nominee had a chance to reintroduce herself to the American public and shared her thoughts on the role of the courts.
Courts have a vital responsibility to the rule of law, which is critical to a free society. But courts are not designed to solve every problem or right every wrong in our public life. The policy decisions and value judgments of government must be made by the political branches, elected by and accountable to the people.
Senate Democrats spent time branding Barrett as a threat to Americans' health care, as the High Court could take up the Affordable Care Act right after her likely confirmation. Republicans warned against making Barrett's Catholicism an issue, especially after her well-publicized opposition to abortion. Beyond those hot-button issues, Democrats say it's not right to confirm a justice when a presidential election is already underway.
Simply put, I believe we should not be moving forward on this nomination, not until the election has ended and the next president has taken office.
The bottom line is Justice Ginsburg, when asked about this several years ago, said that a president serves for 4 years, not 3. There's nothing unconstitutional about this process.
The threat of coronavirus also hanging over all of this. Senator Mike Lee appeared without a face mask 11 days after testing positive. His doctor says he's been cleared, but some Democrats questioned the lack of clear safety procedures from the Republican-led committee. So, Karen, there's a lot more to sift through from today's hearing. We are all on top of it. Our coverage will continue tonight at 5. We hope you'll join us. For now, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right. Thank you, Kim.
Sure.
President Donald Trump is ready to get back on the campaign trail, even as questions linger about his health. Now, within the hour, the president is set to leave the White House, heading to a rally in Florida. The president says he's tested negative for the coronavirus, even though that is not the language used in a memo from his doctor this weekend. But the president has apparently been cleared for travel. He's headed to Florida, Pennsylvania, and Iowa, all in the next 4 days. Democrat Joe Biden is already on the road, practically right next door, campaigning in Ohio. This is video from a visit to Toledo, and he's also heading to Cincinnati. Biden spent part of the day warning Americans they could lose their health care if Judge Barrett joins the Supreme Court. The ripple effects of COVID-19 are being felt in so many different ways, including how the state of Michigan is keeping up with the renewal of certain licenses. Hundreds of psychologists are scheduled to lose their certification because they're not able to get their licenses renewed. Paula Tutman has a story of one local psychologist who says he fears for his patients.
So my shirt says on 9/30/2020, 24 kids lost their therapist. In the back says I was that therapist.
Norm Gajoviak is a master's level psychologist in South Lyon who specializes in children and adolescents.
All of these kids that have opened up to me, who I'm the only one that they talk to, many of them don't even talk to their parents.
But that is past tense, because as of 12 days ago, he is no longer licensed to practice because he can't get a mandatory test for his recertification.
On September the 30th, nearly 100 psychologists working at my level lost their licenses because we are unable to take a state-mandated test because the testing centers were closed because of the coronavirus.
With no expeditious way to get tested, with so few testing centers across the nation open or available for recertification.
I'm scheduled to take my exam on December the 5th, but I have to drive 280 miles into Ohio to sit for the exam because there were no other places, no other spots available in Michigan. And that was the earliest point that I can get in to take the test.
And he says every month, more will lose their ability to practice simply because they can't find testing locations, which means more and more people, particularly those on the edge, get closer to that edge.
What breaks my heart the most is thinking about the kids that I had to say goodbye to and watching them and their reactions and watching them cry. I felt like I was inflicting trauma on kids that I help, that I support, that tell me everything about their lives. They've told me they've been raped. They've told me they've been abused. And I was forced to traumatize them. And it's just not right.
You know, you could really hear the emotion in his voice. And I do want to say that I reached out to LARA, which is the Licensing and Regulatory Affairs Division in Michigan. They acknowledged that they got my questionnaire. I wanted to know how many psychologists have already lost their licenses, how many more before next year, and whether or not there's some expedited or extension of their current certification. I have not heard back from them, even though they did acknowledge they got my message early this morning, which means this is an ongoing problem, an ongoing concern, and for us, an ongoing story, Karen.
All right, we really appreciate it. Thank you, Paula. Still ahead here, first at 4, Holocaust survivors have been targeting Facebook, and today they get what they've been pushing for. Also, are you feeling more burnout on the job? We'll show you what a new survey reveals about American workers. A first Christmas in October for bargain hunters. How keeping up with Amazon is changing the retail landscape and saving you money.
Inside Amy Coney Barrett's religious community.
I had to be submissive to my husband.
Next, Inside Edition.
Coming up next on Inside Edition on Local 4.
A man is given a 50-50 chance of survival until someone stepped in to prove their relationship is thicker than blood. That's tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. on Local 4 News Today.